drape his arm over my knee here. And this gives me this little handle so I can rock him back and forth and get some of this to open. It gets him to release and relax his spine a bit. I'm going to lean his head over and forward, creates a little space here. You notice that I drop my leg down because if I keep his arm craned up, it creates like a little pinch here. But if I give him some space, it just feels more comfortable. In this junction, if he came in and said this was the problem, I'm just going to come in and I'm going to put just a little bit of pressure right there. He's got upper back and neck tension. Usually it's the junction between the upper back and the cervical spine. Trapezius, levator scapula, is it splenius capitis, I think that goes down. Muscles along the neck here that are causing issues. I'm just going to lean in and work on those guys, and I'm still got some pressure, but you see there's still this little bit of movement. I've also got this little tricep roll if I want to work on his arm. You're connecting the arms to the upper back and the neck. And when you say, how do I fit it in an hour? Well, if this is the first time I've ever worked on him, he's never worked on a mat, so we could transition him by having him sit first. And what I've basically done is said, I know where the problem is. I'm going to work on this. After I've worked on that for just a bit, I may then have him turn and just lay down on his back. And you'll remember in class, Amy, when we talked about upper back stuff. So if he's having a problem with his upper back, this is his left side, this is his right. I may start here and just give him a little bit of a twist, right? I'm trying to access his rhomboids, access his trapezius. I'm just leaning and hanging out. We've already let him know that we kind of know what's going on. I can always reach around these little movements here. And then I can switch. Opposite side. If he's having upper back problems, I can glance over the legs. I can do some larger stretches and not have to go into any really detailed line work. It just kind of depends. You're really going to have to feel it out as you work with clients. You will learn more. So again, if he's having upper back problems, you remember this guy? We cross him over and we're able to lift this up and work back here. If he's got upper back pain, you'll see I haven't worked on his legs at all. I've come right into here to work on this.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm just jostling him around. He's commenting on how good it feels. I've changed my body position a little bit just so you can see on the camera. So this hand's just hanging out. I'm rocking him on my fingers. It really cross fiber friction at the paraspinal erectors. And then same thing, opposite side. I could easily, just out of this piece, I could easily get 15 to 20 minutes out of that little bit of seated work and out of this. And if you're doing an hour, you've only got 40 minutes left. That's where I lead him through stretches in his legs, just mobilize those. You can turn him prone and do the pages where I'm finger pressing or palm pressing the back lines. Working up towards something that looks like Cobra maybe. The sequences are not the end. Those sequences are just to get you started. My work is so improvisational that no two sessions are exactly the same. And in fact, my clients tell me that they really like the fact that, even clients that see me once a week, the sessions are 3 hours, but they still say they can't believe that I'm able to improvise as much as I do, because if Josh comes in next week telling me his hand hurts, I may spend 20 or 30 minutes working on his hand and forearm. And the whole session is different because of that, because I started with that and then I move on to whatever else I think is immobile or restricted. So again, we went to where he was having problems. We know he likes this. We can see it on his face. I'm doing very little work. I'm able to talk to you while I'm working on him, getting the stuff moving around. I've addressed some of what's in his upper back, even if, let's say, we did the seated work and you really like that. I can work on his legs and glutes, palm press the back lines, fudge it a bit. I think, Amy, you also asked about sin lines and sin line theory. I don't interpret sin lines the way other teachers do. I have very specific ideas of what they are, but it's not Asian esoterica in any way. I think it's very simple, just matter-of-fact areas of the body to work to release tension. Nothing really energetic about it in the sense of my work is moving towards pain science. It's moving towards what can actually be studied. I can tell you what I find in clinical experience, and what I find in clinical experience is people walk out completely pain-free and my bank account keeps getting larger. You know, I want the science too, but resorting to like Asian esoterica just doesn't work for me. I'm not going to Thailand to learn the Thai secrets. I just don't think it works that way. You know, it's like you got to do good body work on people and keep exploring. The reason the clients have a large rapport with me is because when Josh comes in and says he's having problems with his upper back, I work on his upper back. He knows that, you know, I bust it. I do everything I can to make his session as good as possible. Now see, this is me. This is me improvising as I'm talking to you, because immediately I get into his right arm. He's got some issues with his right shoulder. We worked on some of these last night at Thai Massage Jam. And I'm coming in and lengthening this whole arm and shoulder, because as I moved him around, it felt restricted. This feels free, smooth. This way, restricted. And I'm helping him work through that restriction. And you're like, Robert, you didn't teach us that in class. Oh, yes. Yes, I did. I taught you the foundation that you're going to build your practice on, because I taught you scales, and then you're going to keep growing. Don't feel stuck. Keep flowing and moving. If you're going to work on low back, so he said, you know, he's having more upper back issues. If he was saying low back, I'm going to do leg sequences. I'm going to put him in my holster. And here's the thing, people think I'm working on legs, and partially that's true. But also what I'm working is I'm working by using the femur as a handle to access his pelvic bowl. What does that do to his sacrum? What does that do to his low back? His entire sacrum moves. We're softening and loosening his lumbar vertebra, but not touching there. And that's why the work is so effective, because muscles cause movement. We're using movement to unwind those muscles. That's why it works so well. It's exceedingly, exceedingly simple. Give him a little helicopter there. If he's having problems with his low back, that's what I'm going to go into. I'm going to go into this, panning his sacrum, the other direction, working on his gluteals, a little tight. I look at his facial expression just to see. It's too much pressure. He's giving me a little sigh there, but his face looks okay. That's probably right to his edge. Give him a little hamstring stretch. Oh, see? Part of it as well, when you work on people, let's say he doesn't have very open hamstrings. So, doesn't matter. You give him a little bit of length. Part of what you're doing isn't just removing the client's pain. Part of what you're doing is just making them aware of where the tension is. It's their decision whether they're going to continue to work on it. You have to find simple, easy to use ways to work on tension. I just make things as absolutely easy as possible. I don't want to say I'm lazy, because I'm definitely one of the hardest working, body workers that I know. But when you use the right tool at the right time, it makes everything easy. Why would I use my hands to do this when I can use my feet? This is why I'm such a big proponent of mat work. I think mat work saves the massage therapist's body. This is better for my clients. Josh gets deeper pressure. I can give him longer sessions with less effort on my part. It's a higher level skill in some ways because, well, you have to do like continuing education classes as a massage therapist with somebody like me to be able to learn this. But I get more out of it. As I'm going through, I'm able to press into all these muscles along his sacrum, right into his gluteals. And I can find a dense spot with the ball of my foot, and I can just gently lean in. How's the pressure there, Josh?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And that feels great to him. My clients pay me top dollar to do this with them and work on them. I've become an absolute maven. I mean, I don't know what else to call it. Like, I'm good at what I do because I have years and years of practice with it. When I deal with chefs, I'm a cook. I'm not a chef. I respect their trade too much to try to think of myself as a chef. They know things about food chemistry and knives and how to use equipment to pull the chemistry of ingredients out. And I feel the same way about my trade. I'm a licensed massage therapist. I put 15 years of work into every little piece of minutia, and I'm still learning, still questioning my edges. I wasn't taught to do this in school. I learned this in a CE class, working with another CE provider, working with someone who was teaching me, how to do this stuff. How's that there, Josh?
That's good.
And I can have a conversation with you while I do it because I can feel tension through my legs and feet just like I can with my hands. What this does is it gives me 2 extra limbs, and these muscles are a lot bigger. These structures are designed to take impact, whereas the hands in the same way just aren't. These are much smaller structures. They're not as ideal. Massage therapists are wearing themselves out, working too hard for no good reason. You can make more money doing that work. And the clients, in my experience, like it more once they understand what it is. The challenge is, as a consumer in our culture, how do you get them to buy it? How do you get them to purchase it? I'm right at the top of his hamstrings. Just found the center there, so I can give a little compression. Too much?
No, it's good.
Yeah, you just give me a little breath. I'm just checking in. And I'm swaying just a little bit side to side between semimembranosus, semitendinosus, those insertions right at the ischial tuberosities. This is something that I easily incorporate in what I call the party sequence. I'll do this at a party. I'll do this and drink a beer while I do it because I was hands-free. This allows me to then grab the other people at the parties, which in my case is usually some irritable guy who's now I'm working on some cute girl and he's frustrated because there's a cute girl he'd like to touch, but he can't figure out how to touch her because he's not a licensed massage therapist. He's going through his own issues. So I grab the girl, go lay down, grab him, go do what I'm doing to her. Well, now we're friends. Now it all works out. But people are odd. It's like, can you do massage at a party? Some massage therapists don't like doing massage at a party. Well, I ain't one. I kind of like it. I'll use the beer bottle as a prop and work on it. Use the beer. There we go. Why not? So you can palm press, finger press these lines in the back. You can lean your body weight. You can see that my hands were below my shoulder, so I'm just stacking body weight. If I decide to work on the arms here, I can. There's a little bit of rotation. You can hook around the tricep. And we're still mainly, working towards the glutes. But this gives it time to soften up. I'm going to distribute my weight and then walk up with the knees. Again, mainly hands-free. I'm going to move my feet to the outside. That's going to give me a little more leverage. And how's that there, Josh?
That's awesome.
Okay, now, is the pressure too much there?
No.
Now, I'm going to tell you that I weigh 200 pounds. And the reason I'm going to tell you I weigh 200 pounds is I haven't weighed myself since I weighed about like 210 or 213 or something. Because we want to know what I weigh. But just to say, he's smaller than I am. I can still distribute all of that body weight through my knees because my knees are so big, it doesn't make him retract in pain. If I use an elbow to do this, I don't always think it's the right tool. I think this is the tool you use for cleanup. It's not the tool you use for busting up concrete. If somebody has real gluteal tension, feet and knees. I'm going to give him a little bit of point just so I can walk side to side, meaning that I'm leaning from side to side to put a little pressure into the gluteals. And I can change this however I like. If I decide he's got more tension on his left side, I can turn my body as long as I stack myself. This also gives me a chance to do what I think of as my own personal yoga, because I can lean into my own hip here. I can move my own arms. I can play and move while I'm distributing weight. Is that too much, Josh?
No, it's good.
Exactly. Because as much as I'm trying to help my clients with their movement, I'm trying to work with mine as well. I'm trying to release my own physical restrictions. Oh, too much in there? Yeah. I'm a little bit higher up, probably along like gluteus medius, a little bit to the side just because of my positioning. You can always check his face just to see. But be creative. You got to think outside the box. If you're a massage therapist who's trying to make it, break the rules. And when I say rules, I'm not talking about laws. Physics has laws. The state has laws. Otherwise, you got to reboot your client. And reboot doesn't follow any rules. The only thing that reboot deals with is we have physics and we have state laws. Otherwise, it's all fair game. Make the client feel better. I'm going to switch and turn. A little bit more to the lateral side. How's that?
That's good.
Now you can see I've got some weight distributed here. But as I was pressing, it just made sense. My hand here was right along the spine. So you get to what I call double or triple up. You get a chance to work on several things at once. Too much, Josh?
It's good.
Now this rocking in and off allows me to come in. And this sort of stuff is just common to my practice. Just moving around, seeing where he feels tension. I also am going to communicate a little bit more verbally with clients than some massage therapists do because I just get feedback about what they feel. This up here in his back is tight. Ooh, right there. Ooh, right there. Right there. Then I can lightly change the knee position. I can come in a little bit more to the side. If I want, still got a knee here. I have my bent leg, a little bit of movement and rotation. And this is the thing, we're working on gluteals. You can say we're stretching the quad, we're palm pressing the erector spinae. We're doing like 2 different things at a time, 2 or 3. Right in there. How's that, Josh?
That's a little tight.
A little tight?
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's good.
Okay. Is that too much on your knee?
No.
Okay, just making sure. And I'm going to move just a little bit, cephalid, being that way towards the head. When I use words like cephalid, it's mainly because girls think it's hot and use big words. And that's really all we want to do in life, right? Right, Josh? We want girls who watch YouTube to think we're hot, right?
Yeah.
We're so secure in our masculinity, the 2 men can work on each other. That's right. Right in there. And if I stack body weight, I'm able to lean right in. There are tons of variables. If you have more limited hips, knee mobility, you can change this so many different ways. Some people think they can't do what they think of as Thai massage or do mat work, and they can. I just have to work with them and show them various options. When I produce workbook and video content, it's just to give you a basic routine. In class is when I give you more variance, because some of you need it. You have more limited hips, you need different ways to address things. Is that too much, Josh?
No.
Okay, backed off a little bit. I'm going to give him a little bit of shake, then I'm going to stand back up. I'm going to test him out again, see how that is. Oh yeah. Much better. Much better. If I wanted to do more gluteal work, I could turn him onto his back, do some of the standard work we do with the legs to access through piriformis and the glutes. Need an opposite shoulder stretch, sometimes I call it. But one, I can lift him up. How's that?
That's great.
There we go. Just give him a little stretch to the front. He was saying he has some issues with his hip flexors. It's probably rectus femoris and a psoas. So I'm just going to come in and give him a little length here. Just doing the light version, just that little bit of length, just to open him up. Simple, easy to use. You can see how little I use my hands. In my opinion, as a massage therapist, as a continuing education provider, that's how therapists should be working. I think biomechanically it's more efficient, and I'm currently just making more money doing this, offering a specialty service. I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe, yo.